Nithyananda. This is Ma Chidambara. So today's video, I will be sharing about something which I don't really like speaking about, but it needs to be spoken about nevertheless. And that is the topic of the persecution against my beloved Guru, His Divine Holiness, Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda. So the persecution against him is something which is currently going on. It's something that has been ongoing for the past 8 years or so. So if you do any Google search or YouTube search on my guru, there's ultimately two things which you'll find about him. There is the wealth of Vedic knowledge and information which he is sharing freely with the world, and there's sharings of people like myself, his monks and disciples and devotees who have experienced breakthrough transformations in their lives. People that have been hopeless, whose lives have completely turned around thanks to Swamiji and his teachings. So that's one stream of sharings that's there. But then there's another stream of sharings which is unavoidable, and it's something which everyone will come across, which is the abuse against him. There's so many videos which are defamatory and in multiple languages against Swamiji. And only recently, when we've been working on certain websites that we have for Swamiji, speaking about the persecution against him, have I actually myself come to know the actual depth of how abusive and defamatory these things actually are. So in 2010, Swamiji was the center of a media attack, a planned attack against him. So this was in the peak of his popularity, in the peak of his humanitarian work. There was an attack against him. So he was basically framed, and the media was spreading false news allegations about Swamiji across all of their channels, day and night. They planned certain events to take place which they would be at the center of. The media would be at the center of these staged, planned, there's no other word to use other than attack against Swamiji, to make him look a certain way, which is completely untrue. And this has been happening periodically for the past 8 years, and there's never been a real platform, and there's never been a way for Swamiji at the center of these attacks, which are so cleverly orchestrated against him. The way the media has portrayed him is in such an extreme opposite to what he is and who he is and what he's doing. There's never been a way for him to come out of that. It's left such a strong impression in the psychology of the people here in India, and obviously it's had an effect around the world. There's no way to really speak about the truth and come out of it, no matter what is said or no matter what is done, or whatever Swamiji is doing now. There's always a way in which to put it down and make it seem completely negative in every single way. So I was actually really, really shocked, as I've just shared, about the extent the media has gone to and how they've painted him out to be something which he isn't. And there's never been a way for him to really recover from that, because, like I said, it's left such a strong impact in the psychology of people. Anything that's said contrary to that, now it doesn't leave a mark, or even if people are listening, there's always that doubt of, oh, but I saw something in the news, I saw something in the media, I read something about this guru in some newspaper. And not just about Swamiji, but about us, his monks. It's quite horrible, and it's actually now extended to I've had a personal experience about this myself, which I didn't think would ever happen, where I faced, I wouldn't call it abuse, uh, but definitely it was an unpleasant experience at the Bangalore airport by immigration officials. So I can make a video sharing about that in more detail. But I never imagined that I would go through something like that. But unfortunately, I did, and I have, and it's something that many of us are experiencing because of this media propaganda against Swamiji. So I basically just wanted to share. I know I haven't shared anything specifically about the news, some of the things the news has shared about Swamiji, which I can in greater detail in further sharings of mine. But basically what I wanted to leave here on record for whoever's watching and make it known to the world is that it is propaganda. Whatever the media has been doing, they've definitely been paid to do. You would not be creating such disgusting, abusive articles about someone for no reason at all, especially someone who's doing such amazing humanitarian work and transforming the lives of people across the whole globe. So I just want to say, for someone that is on this side and that knows what Swamiji is and who Swamiji is, and has seen the transformation not in just my life but also in that of my family members, just be wary of what you see in the media. And I suppose that doesn't just stand for Swamiji, it's something that obviously the whole world will be struggling with, is this media corruption and us being fed propaganda from, not just in India, not just against my guru, but in general. I'm sure this is something which is happening in every single country where the media is controlled and they're feeding us opinions. Brainwashing is a pretty good word to use. We're being brainwashed to believe certain things. Ideas are being inserted in us and we're not questioning them. We're not questioning what we're being shown or why we're being shown that. Generally, we are just being fed whatever the media is giving us. So be wary of what you see in mainstream media, in mainstream news. Don't always take it that this is the reality. I've seen for myself the kinds of humanitarian work Swamiji has done and has been doing. He'll go somewhere and he'll be literally feeding thousands of people free food in remote villages. The media will go to an event like this and paint it out to be that he's doing something terrible. So there's one side of things, and then there's what the media is showing as another side of things. And when someone so mainstream has such a monopoly over getting to people and feeding people certain ideas, it's really difficult for us to speak the truth. But there is a truth and you should all know about it. So I highly recommend, and I please ask that everyone has a look at the nithyanandatruth.org webpage, and there's also a Facebook page for Nithyananda Truth, which you should have a look at, especially if you're interested in Swamiji's teachings. You find depth and value in them, but you're seeing some of these other things which might be confusing you. Please have a look and start educating yourself about what the media has done and is continuing to do. So that's my sharing for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Nithyananda.